Very nice. My name is Kevin. I thought I'd take a moment and record some thoughts. My voice sounds a little bit like Morgan Freeman right now. Hi, and welcome to What Kind of World Are We Living On? Map. Let's get rid of this right away. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Okay, now, first of all, let me get to a couple things over here.
Ask yourself a question. How many times do you think you've seen the globe in your lifetime? In a year? In a single day? And how many of those countless instances were you looking at something that was even claiming to be a legitimate photo of the Earth? And how many were merely representations? Images, paintings, animations, sculptures, or even corporate logos. It is common knowledge that virtually every one of us was introduced to the globe by the time of our first day in kindergarten, where it sits dutifully in the corner of the classroom. But it doesn't stop with what we are shown in classrooms and textbooks. It continues on, day after day, for the rest of our lives. Depictions of the globe being implanted into our collective subconscious from a plethora of angles, in advertising, news, entertainment, and art. Arguably beyond any other singular image or concept, the globe is so thoroughly projected into our thought processes that it very quickly becomes the epitome of the unquestionable. Human pride being what it is, it makes it virtually impossible for most people to consider the outlandish idea that such a thing could actually be a shared delusion on such a massive scale. We prefer to believe that the only possible reason we could see so many endless representations of a spherical world is because it is something that has been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt, and therefore it's only reasonable that this image would be the most ubiquitous in our modern, technologically advanced society. Because the alternative would be insane, insidious, horrific. It would mean that instead of being a natural reflection of something that we all know to be true, it would all actually be, in a word, programming.
Now these have all been examples of globe images that we're all very well acquainted with. We've seen them all our lives. It looks like home. You'll notice there's a similarity. Of course, a lot of them are owned by the same corporations and globalists who are owned by the same rich folks whose parents owned our parents.
But there's a reason. There's a reason. There's a reason for this. There's a reason education sucks, and it's the same reason that it will never, ever, ever be fixed. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The big, the wealthy, the real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. They're irrelevant. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls.
Thanks, George. But let's not get too far down that road just yet. We are here to talk science. The American way. It's full of movies and songs and catchy stuff. Hey, check out that flat earth.
Einstein was the dog?
Thanks, Clocks from Back to the Future. Great, I love science. What's that, Joe Rogan?
First of all, if you're a fucking guy that's making YouTube videos about the Earth being flat, that shit isn't research. It's just not. It's not. You're not a scientist. You're not wearing a lab coat. You don't work for a major university. Just because you're some fucking jack-off alone in your room obsessing about nonsense, that's not research. That said.
Thanks, Joe, you
Really cool guy.
Why don't you have some cilantro with your salsa? Now he is dead wrong in that misdirection. Science is for everyone. You don't need a lab coat. You don't need a degree. Science is a method of investigation, not beliefs. The intellectual and practical activity encompassing the systematic study of structure and behavior of the physical and natural world through observation and experiment. I want to use the zetetic method. Zetetic is from the Greek. It means to search, to examine, to proceed only by inquiry, but to trace phenomena to their immediate and demonstrable causes. And this is in contradiction with the word theoretic. Theoretic, the meaning of which is speculated, imaginary, not tangible, scheming, but not proving. I learned this word when I bought this book, Zetetic Astronomy.
Zetetic astronomy.
This book was written in 1886 by Samuel Rowbotham. It was not written by the CIA, but authored by his pseudonym, Parallax. Now what's this? Parallax? Zetetic? These are crazy words. At this point, we need to start a word list. Alexa, start a word list. Now, I knew it would be difficult to listen to me for a long time, so I got Alexa here to give you something better to look at. There's nothing I can do about this. I'm sorry. Okay, so parallax. A different placement on the Earth gives you a different view. The stars have a lack of stellar parallax. But I'm on a tangent here.
Wink. We'll get more into that later. I'm gonna need more help.
Siri! Now I knew it would be difficult to listen to me for a long time, so I got Siri here so you all would have something better to look at. There's nothing I can do about this. So while we're at it, here's a different list of terms you may or may not be aware of that are often related to truthers or conspiracy theorists. A phrase coined by the CIA in the 1960s to discredit any official JFK story dissension.
Wait,
Yes.
conspiracy theorist.
They are as such: indoctrination, predictive programming, false flag, soft disclosure, psy-op, Illuminati, nutty, Illuminati, nutty. The Freemasons. I can't even do it. Sorry, the Freemasons. The Cabal, the Alliance, the Brotherhood, the Black Nobility, the Council of Nine, the CFR, the Bilderbergs, the Trilateral Commission, the Tavistock and Brookings Institute, the Rand Group, the MI6, Mossad, the World Bank, the Club of Rome, the Knights of Malta, the IMF, the PNAC, and NASA. Globehead. Sheeple.
Government android. Why would they even want us to think the Earth was flat if it wasn't?
Wake up, Dom. You are being sheeple.
Don't call me sheeple. I'm not sheeple, I'm people.
There's just a limit to the amount of shit I can put brain power towards investigating.
And finally,
Woke AF. After tonight's presentation, you will be this. I want to show you a few patterns that I found that I think lead to an exciting conclusion. I should preface that I am not always right. Like some kind of clergy, or government official, or corporate scientist, I should not be trusted. I want you to check anything you think is bogus. I will give you a copy of all the info I've put together, and you can check it or chuck it at your leisure. Now this is a little bit tricky. I feel like I've woken up from a spell. I'm going to try and break you free from a spell. Now I know that sounds arrogant. We're not all under a spell. I mean, we all do use spelling, and when we're angry with people, we curse them out, but whatever. We all learn to write cursive when we're in school. Hey, I remember I used to wake up in the morning to go to school. Morning is what you do for a dead person at a wake. Wake up in the morning. Then we go to our jobs. Wait a minute, I know that word, job. That's in the Bible. That's another biblical word. Sorry, what does that mean in Hebrew?
Persecuted.
Anyway, then we gotta earn.
What's this?
Yeah, that's for the urn.
Hey, earn is what they put a dead person in.
It is our most modestly priced receptacle.
Whatever. We try to get through the weeks to get to the weekend, where we're weakened from our week of work at our job. This is getting pretty crazy. Anyway, we'll get more into that later. If you watch my next 79 hours, I'm going to try to lift the veil, if you will. Our indoctrination has trained us to mock and become angry at information that is contrary. Cognitive dissonance. You know the Matrix, and we're all asleep, and you'll actively fight to stay in the Matrix? Well, it's all true, honestly. SpysLike.
We mock what we don't understand.
Yeah.
I'm going to proceed assuming that you want the truth.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
So I hope you'll give me a chance. You're open-minded, right? Science doesn't fear an investigation. In fact, when we're kids, we're taught to question things. And I know I haven't proved anything or gone into any deep science yet. Internet, calm down. Internet, calm down. I'll be back. I'm going to put one of these up every week for the next 79 weeks. I thank you for your time. Thank you everybody who came here to watch this. I love you all. Especially thank you, buddy.
Tell you what, man, come get the old macaroni. I tell you what, no sir.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good stuff. We don't have time for a feeding of the flesh. Oh, guys. Oh, this guy is freaking.